Hello everyone, in this video we are going to have a little mini podcast about social issues such as stereotype, bias, and prejudice. My name is Aufarrel, Henanda, you can call me RL, and I will be the moderator for this video. There are three talkers beside me today, and can you please introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Nadya Putri Kinasih and you can call me Nana.
And my name is Faisya Ayu Wulandari, you can call me Faisya.
And my name is Luvian Dhini, but you can call me Fian.
Okay, thank you all three talkers. To start, let's know more about bias, stereotype, and prejudice. So, Faisya, can you tell me a little bit about stereotype?
Okay, let's start with stereotypes. So stereotypes are oversimplified ideas or things about a particular group or people, and we use them to quickly categorize the world, but this simplification can be harmful too. For example, the stereotype that say men are better at math not only undermines women's abilities but also affects how opportunities are distributed in fields like engineering or data science. The other example is like positive stereotypes for Asians are good at science can be damaging because they reduce people to one-dimensional characteristics and overlook individuality. And the problem with stereotypes is that they often stick even when we know better. They become part of our cultural fabric and shape the way we see others. So why do they persist? It's because stereotypes simplify our complex world, and it's easier for us, for our brain to process information from our world. But oversimplification can cause harms, and especially when it leads to unjust assumptions. I think that's all from me about stereotypes.
Okay, next. Fian, can you tell me a little about prejudice?
So, like Faisya said previously, unjust assumption, and in this whole idea, it means prejudice. It's like a preconceived opinion that someone has towards a certain group of people based on could be their appearance or their characteristics. It is always preconceived, which means we or us, we don't know anything about them. We don't know anything that much about them, but we already have this conclusion about them that can lead to us feeling like we are discriminating or excluding them from our society.
Okay, thank you. What about bias?
So bias is basically a tendency or inclination either for or against something, often in a way that considered an unfair treatment. So bias also can be defined as a discrimination towards a person or group or set of ideas or belief in a way that is prejudicial or unfair. So basically bias is something that is someone more prefer or more leaning to them. It's something that they have naturally, and bias is also can be conscious or unconscious. So and bias is mostly leading to something called discrimination, like that.
Okay, thank you for your description. So I actually have a question. If either of stereotype, bias, and prejudice is gone, is missing, it just doesn't exist, would either of them still will be able to exist, or if one is gone, then the other would not exist?
Well, I think the three of those behaviors are related. So bias leads to stereotypes, and which reinforce to prejudice. So I would say bias is shape how we view the world, while stereotypes is how our expectations to someone or some people or groups, while prejudice is governs how we treat people or other groups.
What do you guys think? Do you have any comments or something feels odd or anything?
Can I add something?
Sure.
So you probably asked if one of them is gone, if
Others.
or if others gone, and then can one of them still be existing? I think that's not true. I think three of them will be occur one to another because they're related, and this three social phenomenon is something that is just happen naturally in human life. Some people also think that this is something that is very common for human to
Have a place.
have. Yes, it's something that is not
Fabricated. Can I add little?
Sure.
I heard someone told me, I think it was you, who told me that some scientists think that prejudice is a very natural thing for humans because we conceive something that we think something that is different from us as a threat, and we instantly, unconsciously judge them based on the way they're different from us, and that is somehow leading to a bigger prejudice, and then leads to bias, and then somehow causes to form other stereotypes, and they are related.
Thank you for the answer. So what I get from stereotype isn't necessarily negative. It could often be positive. So what I think is between bias and prejudice, which do you think is actually worse than the other?
I'd say, can I go first? I'd say it's the prejudice because, like I said before, it is preconceived, so we don't know anything about them. We don't know anything about these people who are different from us, but we already make this conclusion that they are like this and like that. Somehow we make them like they are not supposed to be in our group. Like we feel that way, which is like a discrimination, I say. And I think it's worse because we are excluding them from our society.
I totally agree with Vian. I think prejudice is the most harmful between bias and stereotype. And I think it's because when someone has a strong negative opinion about another person or group, is often without really knowing them. Like, for example, if someone refuses to be your friends just because of your race, religion, or maybe gender, that's prejudice. And it can lead to unfair actions like bullying or discrimination.
Okay. A little bit different from both of them. I think that bias is worse than prejudice because unlike prejudice, which people with prejudices usually most likely to keep the prejudice for themselves, bias is something that it put into action, so it can cause an actual harm to these certain groups of people, probably a society even. So I think it can be more open. The attitude is more open to other. Well, prejudice is more something they can keep themselves.
Oh, I see.
And then bias is the one most likely to create unfair treatment to particular people, because bias is usually came from personal experiences and preference. So when a person meets someone that isn't meeting the quality of their biases, they might be doing something bad to them.
So bias is put through actions.
Yeah, it's put into action. The prejudice is put into action
I see.
of discrimination.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like that.
Okay, thank you. So it is still debatable because each person has their own opinion. But overall, how can we, stop prejudice, negative prejudice, biases, negative stereotypes? How do you think can we minimize it? How do we minimize the negative effects of bias, prejudice, and stereotype?
Okay, so for me, it is almost impossible, I think, to just wipe them out because it's a natural attitude of human ourselves. But we can minimize it by having self-awareness, having a big tolerance towards others, because prejudice is not something that is always true, and so is stereotypes, and prejudice is also something we all know that it can harm others, so we can just put ourselves in awareness that we have to love all.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we have social media, so we can use that to raise awareness that we're not all the same. We are distinct. We have our individual characteristics that make us different from others, and we have things like ethnicities, races, religions, cultures, and those things that make us different are what makes us unique. Yeah, thank you for that. Unique.
Yeah, so I think tolerance is the good point to minimize these three behavior of human nature, character. So I think get to know other people. I mean different people, because we live in diverse world, right? So we have different race, different religion, different culture. So I think you have to get to know them more, to know about their backgrounds, to know about their ability, maybe because we have a different ability and talents. So I think the more you know them, the better you to see that everyone is unique and have their own characters and have their own personalities.
Okay, thank you everyone for your beautiful comments. So just a recap of our discussion in this video. So we have recapped what is bias, what is stereotype, what is prejudice. So they don't necessarily mean that they're negative, but oftentimes they shows that they're negative because prejudice, bias is more on the actions, and prejudice also affects bias. Stereotype is also part of the spark for the both of them, right? And of the worst, what is the worst, like the prejudice and bias, it's actually debatable because everyone have their own opinions, and we can't really decide which one is worse. It also depends on the situation, actually.
Since they are related.
Yeah, because they are both related, so we can't exactly know what is worse. And we can't actually wipe it off. We can't actually make all the negative effects disappear because it is part of human nature. And well, people definitely talk. They have their own opinions. There are negative ones, there are also positive ones, and what we should do actually is more of seeing in the mirror and start with ourselves. We should change ourselves first because we can't necessarily change another person, so we change ourselves. We have a more positive mindset. We don't have negative assumptions on people also. So maybe that is all for today. Thank you everyone for talking.